This blog is going to be about a book I've just finished, or rather, some thoughts I had following the book. My little dog's here actually. It's my daughter's son's little puppy called Candy, so excuse me for wriggling with her. I've read this super book about Janis Joplin. It came out a few years ago. It's by a woman never heard of called Alice Eccles, but it's a biography of Janis Joplin. You know, Janis Joplin, the famous, infamous rock, blues, country singer, you name it, with the most incredible voice, who died of a heroin overdose, it seems. I think it was 1970. But she had some super music. It just set me thinking. This is supposed to be a blog about politics, and it kind of is, but a wider politics. Not politics in the way that bores my 12 and a half year old daughter, but politics in terms of a different way to live. And the counterculture in the United States, the hippie culture, and then later things, had very, very many flaws and mistakes, and bad drugs were one of them, and, you know, just losing the plot was another. But what they were actually doing was saying there's got to be a better way to live than America in the 1950s and early 60s, the conformism, the lack of freedom in the name of freedom, the imprisonment, the bourgeois lifestyle, a word we don't hear very much these days, bourgeois, the really imprisoning of the soul. And I think we've got that in Britain today, maybe in the whole world today. In Britain today, we've got a situation whereby people talk about giving people access, for example, on the left of politics, but access to what? Access to intense jobs where the work's been intensified, there isn't enough time for leisure, where either you've got time and no money, or money and no time. Well, I think we can look back to counterculture and look at, you know, what Jim Morrison, the other druggie who destroyed his own life, which was a great tragedy, he said we've got to break on through. Now, if we can learn from the counterculture and break on through to a different way of living without being bloody stupid like some of them were, and without throwing over our obligations to society, which some of them did, then we could actually have a better life. And you know, the Janis Joplin book just got me thinking about that. But all in all, it was just a lovely book, beautifully written, didn't romanticise Janis, but was a real tragedy. So anyway, that's my blog for today, and thank you very much again for listening. Candy, I hope you've been listening too.